Good Commissioner Willie Simmons, Transportation Central District. Is there some continuity in the Highway Department? It seems to be when I had some other folks on, it's just that there's some disagreement of where to take it in the future as far as plans are concerned.
I don't think it's so much in the Department of Transportation as it is on the outside. Within the Department of Transportation, we have a mission and a goal, and we're working toward that. All three commissioners are veterans, so we have a tendency to know how to come together as a team and work. We may not agree on everything, but when you look at what we did this year, even when I was directing, which you've heard a lot about, Melinda McGrath, who was with us for over 10 years, we the commissioner recommended and supported
What's the status
her.
of that now? We have an interim director.
Yeah, we submitted Melinda's name to the Senate, and it was not moving at the manner in which we would like for it to have.
It was double referred
Melinda,
too, wasn't it?
Double referred, something we had never seen before. And Melinda decided to retire. She had 30-plus years in, so she's gone home.
She took over from Butch Brown way back then.
Way back, yeah. So we, the commissioners, decided that we were going to look at a process of hiring a new director. But what we did do, we had an able body within the system, Jeff Altman, who was the assistant to Melinda, and we had recommended Melinda, so we have taken Jeff on as the interim director. So we feel comfortable that the Department of Transportation is in good hand. We'll continue to do the things that we're going to do. We had some challenges. In addition to Melinda's position being double referred, the legislature this year did a few things that we would like for them to have done, such as our reclassification of our personnel that we had been asking for some time. We did not get the full funding of the budget requests that we wanted. The legislature did not give us any additional new dollars that we have been requesting that we need and haven't gotten an increase since 1987. But on top of that, we had $119 million of COVID money that the United States Congress had given us. And the legislature kidnapped, took those dollars and sent them to the counties, on top of the fact that the Congress had sent the counties and the municipalities over $1 billion. So we lost the $118 million that we, the Department of Transportation, should have had, in addition to sending it to the counties through what we refer to as the Emergency Bridge and Road Fund we created in 2018.
So they repaired bridges in some of their roads.
They identified and earmarked projects as opposed to leaving it to us. We could have utilized $118 million to do some projects here in the Central District.
You couldn't have used that for matching money, though, could you?
We couldn't use it for matching, but we could have done some projects like in Rankin County that we need to do a few things. Highway 27, Highway 61, which is part of the 87 program. There are many things that we could have utilized the monies for, but that money was taken from us by the legislative body. So we had that experience. In addition to that, as opposed to not getting any additional money, we saw an increase in the weights, the 88,000 pounds on the harvest permit.
So that did pass?
That did pass. And
has the governor signed that yet?
The governor has not signed it yet. And we also saw...
Wait a minute. Back up a little bit. So that's going to be a seasonal designation, or is that going to be year-round, moving it to 88,000?
It's referred to as the harvest permit.
Right.
So anytime that the harvest permit is in place for agricultural...
But I would think it's going to be the fall of the year. We don't have a lot of harvesting going on in the spring. So,
well, over the years, the legislature has broadened the definition for harvest permit, and it includes the loggers and all kinds of industry.
Didn't think about that, because the loggers were some of the people who were pushing this front and center, were they not?
Yes. So the legislature did that. They also moved the weight division enforcement to Highway Patrol. So we had kind of a tough year with the legislature.
When does that become effective?
That becomes effective July 1st.
So how many people do you have employed at MDOT that will move over to Department of Public Safety?
There's a number. I will get that for you, but I don't know the exact number.
So that would be the entire. That's the administrative, the vehicles, everything will be under the designation of public safety.
Public safety. We will keep the permit aspect of it, and one or two of the other areas that we was dealing with.
Does that include way station type things too, or what?
Yes.
So they would have jurisdiction.
All weight enforcement, they will have that. So those kind of things happen with the legislation. We, the commissioner, would like for, as elected officials, to have full control over what happens with infrastructure. We need to sit down with the legislative body and work with them so that they get a good understanding as to the kind of things that we need to be doing in 2021. The fuel tax, for instance. When we talk about the fuel tax, and that's our only means of generating dollars in the state of Mississippi, with electric vehicles coming into play, we need to make progress in how we're going to fund.
Well, there was a bill, but that bill died early in the session.
That's why we again. I hope during the summer that the leadership in the legislative body will convene a meeting with we the commissioners, and we certainly invite them to come and listen to what the true mission is and what the true needs are in the state.
Commissioner, what was behind the $80 million snafu trying to take that away from lottery money away from MDOT?
And that's part of the misunderstanding, evidently, of the legislative body. Paul, just think about it. If you have not given us any additional funds since 1987, and the cost to build highways and bridges have gone up 300%, and the only new money that you have given to the Department of Transportation in a special session that Governor Bryan called, and I was the front face on the lottery, giving that $80 million, and then the legislature come into session this year and say, we're going to take the $80 million.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, and what's the message you're sending to the citizen about safety and the need to move commerce in the state of Mississippi?
Let me ask you this, and again, Commissioner Willie Simmons is my guest, Commissioner of Central District Transportation. How much control will you have as far as the commissioners on the money coming in from whenever it is completed, an infrastructure package? How much goes to the legislature? How much will you have control of?
Well, if the standard set by the 21 session is allowed to play out, we, the commissioners, may not have no control. Congress in Washington, D.C., set up a formula, and they sent $1.2 billion to the state of Mississippi. They sent monies to all kind of agencies, IHL, education. They also identified every municipality in the state of Mississippi, every county, and they sent money directly to those counties and municipalities. They sent $118 million to the Department of Transportation, and the legislature say we applaud Congress for sending all that money to the counties and municipalities in the state. There is one agency that they sent money to, the Department of Transportation, $118 million. We're going to take that. And they took it and did what they wanted to do with it. Now, if they attempt to do that with the infrastructure bill, we're going to have a serious problem. And I guess Commissioner Willie Simmons and the legislative body will be in a fight or a war. Is
there a unspoken war going on to try to dissolve the Department of Transportation as far as the commissioners? And I don't know, could you do that constitutionally, or could it be done by mandate of the legislature to put the Department of Transportation under, and the commissioners, and dissolve them and put it under the governor?
It doesn't matter what structure you have. If you don't fund it, you starve the beast and you kill infrastructure.
Well,
and that's what you're doing.
What I'm saying in starving the beast is that the overall objective in the future.
That may be someone's objective. If it is, I think it's a big mistake and a bad approach. You need to fund the Department of Transportation.
I understand that, but also, and this has nothing to do with you. It was prior to you guys coming in as far as any new members, but there's been dissatisfaction with the department for a while, as you know, and I think you had some of that dissatisfaction too when you were running with the contracts and things like that from the Department of Transportation.
There are issues that we can improve on, and that's why we need to have a conversation with the legislative body.
It was them, now it's we, so it's a little bit different.
Well, you know, it's like when you're walking down the street. If you're a pedestrian, you have a different approach to the corner compared to the driver in the car.
It's a big job.
It's a tough job.
And it takes a long time to get it going the right way.
Most definitely. But let me just say to you, Paul, and I know you're going to take a break. I want to thank our employees for going out during COVID
Absolutely.
and working during the ice storm. We've had 4 employees who had serious injuries while out working. So to the public,
be careful.
Please give them your appreciation when you see them.
Still haven't won the lottery. I haven't heard any news on that.
Still working on it.
Not even